This is the whipped back stitch. I have already done 2 rows of back stitch. Here's a straight one and here's a curved one. And I have whipped the stitch up to this point. The best needle to use when you're whipping is a tapestry needle. Tapestry needles have a really dull, rounded point, and they have a nice long eye so that you can get some thread in there easily. And they work nicely because you can scoot underneath a stitch without piercing the fabric. And that's what you're going to do on this back stitch. So this, what I'm doing right now, is called whipping. And you can see that I'm always going in from the right, coming out on the left, and I'm going underneath each and every little stitch. And that rounded point on this tapestry needle makes it so you can scoot underneath. Now if you don't have a tapestry needle, you can still do it, and I'll show you that on that straight line. When I want to end this stitch, I want it to look as natural as it can, and so I'm going to go down part way along that stitch, and I'm just going to go into the back about halfway along there, and then I would tie that off on the back. So this is called whipped back stitch. I've done it in 2 different colors so that you can see the stitch a little better, but you can do it in any combination of, you can do the same thread, or you can do a contrasting. Okay, now I'm just going to twist this around here, and I'm going to show you how to start. So I'm actually going to use a different needle for this one to show you how you can do it without changing your needle out. So I'm going to come up midway along that first stitch and halfway through it. So if I was to pull that out straight, you can see that I'm right underneath this stitch. Can you see that? There we go. Okay, now since I have a pointed needle, this is a chenille needle, it's harder for me to scoot underneath without catching the fabric. So if you'll just turn your needle around and lead with the eye, then you can get the same results as if you were using a tapestry needle, because the eye is dull and it will scoot underneath quite easily. Now if I was doing a whole big row of this, I would definitely change my needle, because you can do it much quicker and more efficiently, and so I would do that. But what if you're just doing an inch or 2 of this? You don't need to change out your needle unless you want to. Doesn't matter. So this is whipping a back stitch, whipped back stitch. Okay, when I get up here to the end, I'm going to make it look like it was meant to end right there. Here's 1, 2 more stitches. And then I'm going to go underneath midway along that end stitch and directly under the thread, and you pull that through and tie it off on the back. This is called the whipped back stitch.